This is totally not Danzig, and you're listening to the Shred Shack.
Greetings, folks. I'm Dan Mack.
And this is Chris Mack.
Welcoming you to episode 118 of the Shred Shack podcast, your premier source of news and uninformed yet heavily biased opinions pertaining to all things heavy metal. Airing bi-weekly on iTunes, Mixcloud, Google Play, and iHeartRadio, as well as on YouTube at youtube.com/The Shred Shack and youtube.com/Adamant'sTemplum. Let's get started with some old business. Old business.
Old business is old business, and new business is new business.
We surprisingly have no old business. So.
And this is new business, and we do not discuss new business until next quarter.
Now, normally we start off new business with talking about new album releases, but I don't think we have any to talk about this time around.
No, but I will next time because I believe I got an email from Amazon saying that the new Opeth record is going to be delivered to my place next week. Next week. So that gives me a good week to ingest it.
Have you heard the single yet?
I've heard I've heard two songs.
Oh, okay.
I've heard two songs. Both versions of the two songs, meaning Swedish and in English, because they're doing both versions. Mm-hmm. It's a double disc I'm getting. So, yeah, I'm super excited, but the thing is, I try not to listen to things before they come out because I like to listen to them in context of the album. That gives me an impression of the whole album as a whole.
Gotcha.
So, but it's Opeth, and I've been jockeying Opeth for over a decade now, so I think it's going to be incredible. Mm-hmm. I always look forward to a new Opeth record, and it's funny that I was just looking through my Facebook memories from yesterday. And 8 years ago, there was another Opeth record coming out around this time. So, that I was super pumped about. So yeah, this seems to be a September thing.
Yeah,
for the band.
Gloomy fall type stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, so let's talk about what else we've been listening to, and we go to Instagram for albums of the day that we've been putting up since the last time we did this.
Yes. So since the last time we did this, we recorded on September 6th, I believe. Uh-huh. So we're going to be starting on September 9th. You listened to The Advantage?
Yes, The Advantage. You might appreciate some of it just for the retro feel, because it's Nintendo music. Done on actual instruments.
So okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So, but is it like actual like Nintendo songs, like done like the Mario theme song, Tetris theme song? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's the original music just done on actual instruments.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
I listened to Queen Jazz, my favorite Queen record. Mm-hmm. My favorite Elton John record, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and you followed it up with the Broken Soul EP.
Yes.
You know, that's a very good local band here. Speaking of local, you followed that up with the Carrie Asher record. Mm-hmm. And I listened to The Ocean, Pelagial, one of my favorites. I'm looking forward to part 2 of their album series. Part 1 came out last year. Part 2, I'm not exactly sure when it's supposed to come out. Mm-hmm. All right, then we got some Nightwish, Century Child, and Behemoth, I Loved You at Your Darkest. That's the latest Behemoth record. Really fucking good.
You own that one, right?
Yes. Next up, System of a Down, Toxicity. Going old school on us here. And I went a little old school as far as Ghost goes with their album Meliora.
Yeah. Actually, I was... we were just discussing the whole thing with Lindsay's car. It's because I was driving Lindsay's car that I had a copy of Toxicity in there. Oh. And I was just like, throw it on. So, listen to it.
That's funny because I was just talking to Lindsay this morning, dropping her off at the airport, and she came to the conclusion that System of a Down is her favorite band. That's what I said.
Interesting.
Yeah, we were having a conversation that we thought it would have been a female fronted band, because that's what she's very much into. Yeah. But she says that she really, really likes System of a Down, that it just might be her most favorite band.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Oh, we got some Falconer here, Among Beggars and Thieves.
Yes.
And I listened to Nothing Face, Skeletons.
Falconer has never released a bad album.
Megadeth Dystopia. That was last Friday for me. And you listened to Halloween, Keeper of the Seven Keys, Part 1.
Yes. Turns out, just side note, for readers of Metal Hammer, apparently Keepers of the Seven Keys Part 2 was named the top power metal album of all time.
Yes, I did see that. So that's interesting.
Yes.
You followed it up with a weekend of The Darkness, One Way Ticket to Hell and Back.
Yep.
And Alice in Chains Dirt. Classic.
Yeah. That was another one where, like, listening to the radio and hearing Rooster over and over. Mm-hmm. Actually, on my listen to it, on my listen to the actual album, I skipped over Rooster. So I've heard it so many times. And I skipped over Them Bones because I had just heard it in the car like a few hours before. So
yeah,
I went straight
I can only imagine. Yeah.
I went straight to Damn That River.
All right. We got Grave Shadow, Ambition's Price,
yep,
and Demon Hunter. I forgot the name of this record. But it's their most popular one. It's very good. Mm-hmm. Follow that up with some Rob Zombie, Educated Horses, and Willow Ash.
Willow Ash I'm actually going to get into a little bit more later on, but they were a surprising find in my Kickstarter searches. They're not doing Kickstarter themselves, but they were part of the search that I found.
That's cool.
So, they're a good like doom metal band.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right. I listened to Newstead, Heavy Metal Music, and you listened to Offspring, Smash.
Yeah, I actually I have a handful of CDs that I'm trying to get rid of, and because they came from like two different sources, so I've just had like a box of CDs around.
Oh, these are like doubles?
Yeah.
Oh,
so I was like, I took all the doubles and I put them in my car, and one of them was the Offspring Smash. I forgot how short that album actually is. You know, I was able to listen to it front to back, to and from work.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and my trip to work is not that long. So
that is a pretty short record.
Yeah.
Well, then again, it is a punk record, so
yeah,
you know, it kind of plays into the aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
And last but not least, here from yesterday, we have Serge Tankin, Imperfect Harmonies, and Scorpions, Best of Rockers and Ballads.
Another double that I have in the car. But I also had a day where I listened to some of my vinyl records, which I didn't obviously put in an album of the day, but I was just going through a lot of my non-metal stuff on record. So started off with Queen Sheer Heart Attack to listen to the one that you bought for me for my birthday.
Early birthday gift, yes sir.
Yeah, and it played perfectly.
Such a find, by the way.
It was pretty funny because for some reason my record player was pushed into the wrong setting. It was on the 45 setting instead of the 33 setting, and it was playing like the Chipmunks. And I was like, "What the fuck is going on with my record player? Why does he sound like this?"
Kind of like that one video we had where we turned it into Killswitch in the Chipmunks.
Yeah.
Alvin and the Engage.
But it went from Queen to listening to Phil Collins' Face Value.
Okay.
To listening to Django Reinhardt, who is a guitar player, apparently a big influence on Tony Iommi.
Oh, there you go. All right.
And to Peter Gabriel's Security, number 4, with Shock the Monkey and Rhythm of the Heat. Mm-hmm. And I capped it off there, but a good 4-album stretch of fun there.
Yeah, and my go-to car record as of late has been the new Tool album, and I've been finding that the more I listen to it, the more I like it. I still have the same negative comments about it. It doesn't really sound that different from their previous album, blah 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 blah. But it still doesn't stop it from being really fucking good. If you take if you take the album out of context of that sort of thing and you just listen to it as a standalone album, it's really fucking good.
Cool.
You know, it's right. It's the perfect Tool album, to tell you the truth. It's really good. It's really good.
Kind of somewhat related to that. Sometime soon I have to buy the new Slipknot album, more so because Lindsay wants it.
Yeah, well, I think we talked about it before because you guys listened to it in my car.
Yeah.
And
she surprisingly enjoyed what she heard.
Yeah.
Because she's not a big Slipknot fan. She likes Wait and Bleed and Vermilion Part 2.
The more melodic stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was apparently enjoying the new album when she heard it in your car. So. Yeah,
I think I have to go back and go through some of the 2019 releases and listen to those again. You know, 2019 started off so strong for me as far as purchasing stuff. And it's kind of dwindled down a little bit as I've been a little bit pickier.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of good stuff that came out this year. A lot of good stuff.
Well, what's coming out pretty soon that we actually have a premiere copy of is Pumpkins United by Halloween.
Oh, okay.
It's the tour that they've done together with Michael Kiske back in the front and Kai Hansen on guitar. So I'm excited to take a listen to that. It's supposed to come out in about 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, and then we got the new Opeth record next week, and then in November, I think it is, the orchestral album from Blind Guardian.
Yes, which I've been seeing a lot of ads for on Facebook. So, aside from stuff about demons and wizards.
Yes.
All right, so let's go on to, unfortunately, obituaries, which seems to be pretty stacked today.
Unfortunately, yes. So, former TNT vocalist Tony Mills has died after a 6-month battle with cancer. He was 57 years old. He was pretty goddamn young. The British-born singer appeared on 3 studio albums from TNT, 2007's The New Territory, 2008's Atlantis, and 2010's A Farewell to Arms, before exiting and being replaced by a returning Tony Harnell.
Run! Where is that pussy cancer anyway?
Yeah, you keep that guy busy. Hold on a sec, because he comes up at the end here. All right, Motorhead's original guitarist Larry Wallace has died at the age of 70. His passing was confirmed by the band's official website. He played on the Motorhead album On Parole, which was shelved for 4 years until the band grabbed success with the charts and a rabid following. Although recorded in 1975, the LP became the 4th album released. Despite leaving the group in 1976, Wallace is cited as co-writer on Vibrator, one of the album's standout tracks. The Cars frontman Rick
Ocasek.
We're going to go with that? Okay. Ocasek died of heart disease, which was confirmed by New York Medical Examiner's Office. He also had pulmonary emphysema, which is a type of lung disease. He was 75 years old at the time of his passing. It's unclear how long he had been suffering from the heart disease.
Really? I figure that's something that you
keep up on.
Well, I mean, something that you get symptoms of early on, but I wouldn't know.
Yeah. And last but not least here, legendary rocker Eddie Money passed away. He was also 70 years old. Our representative confirmed to People that the legendary rocker died of complications from a recent heart valve replacement surgery. Money revealed his stage 4 esophageal cancer diagnosis last month. He received the diagnosis last fall while taping the 2nd season of his popular reality series Real Money, which he and his wife, Lori, executive produced.
Run! Where is that pussy cancer anyway?
So we had 4 deaths in the rocker world. As a matter of fact, there is a 5th death I did not put in here. Apparently, a former keyboardist for Clutch has passed away as well.
Yes, I think I saw that on Blabbermouth. So it hasn't been a good 2 weeks. That's a lot.
Yeah. That's and a lot of this is relatively recent. Like the Motorhead one was yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, fuck. That list is getting longer.
Yeah, that's not cool. Because normally we try to keep it at a minimum of -1.
Yeah.
And
yeah, we're 5 in today.
Yeah,
balls deep in death here.
Yeah,
fuck.
That's not cool. So
Balls deep in death.
So rest in peace to all those gentlemen.
Yes. Especially like the younger one, like 57 is really young to pass away.
Yeah.
You know, and 70 just seems to be the number for Motorhead guys. So.
And let's all just realize that Keith Richards is still alive.
And so is Ozzy.
And
he was recording a new album apparently.
Which apparently he has said is his best material ever.
But they say that every time. Everybody says that. It's the heaviest album we ever did. It's the best album I ever did.
Well.
Anyway.
See, I want to hear them say it's like the most fun I've ever had. That's what I liked about when they did the AC/DC behind the music, and they were talking about Stiff Upper Lip. Brian Johnson's talking about how much fun he had making that album. I was like, yeah, you have that fun.
That's right. That's right. It was fun. Doesn't mean it's good. It's just fun.
That was a good record.
No. I mean, AC/DC, they do no wrong.
Yeah.
They do no wrong. Especially when you don't change a song for 50 years.
Hey, you know what?
Hey. Stay in the pocket. Stay in the pocket. All right, you ready for some general news here?
Yes, general news.
Okay, according to Deadline, Marilyn Manson is joining the third season of Star's American Gods. Marilyn Manson will play Johann Wengren, or Wengren I'll go with, actually, the lead singer of Blood Death, a Viking death metal band that is a source of power for Ian McShane's Mr. Wednesday, also known as the Old God Odin. So this show is based on the classic fantasy novel by Neil Gaiman. American Gods follows a former convict named Shadow Moon, who is played by Ricky Whittle, who is pulled into an epic battle between factions of old and new deities when he's hired by a mysterious man, Mr. Wednesday, to act as a bodyguard and driver.
I think I've heard the show is good. But
I've heard the show is good.
I've just never watched it.
This sounds like a show I would totally be into.
Yeah. It's just a matter of getting to it and actually watching it.
And having stars.
Oh, it's on Stars?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then I'm out. So
yeah,
I'm not. I don't pay for that shit.
Yeah, I pay for Cinemax and HBO. Yeah. I don't know why, but I do.
Well, I would have said HBO for Game of Thrones, but that's over now.
It's over now. But in October, the new Watchmen series comes out. Super pumped for that.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
When it comes out on Netflix, you let us know.
Nothing on HBO comes out on Netflix, my friend.
Well, should it ever? Let us know.
All right. Kreator have welcomed Frederic Leclerc.
I think it's like Leclerc.
Leclerc?
Yeah, I think so.
Leclerc. Anyway, he's their new bass player. Before joining Kreator, Leclerc rose to fame with UK-based extreme power metal.
For fuck's sake.
Extreme power metalers Dragon Force, for whom he handled bass duties from 2005 until last month.
I need to get some clips from what is it, Harold and Kumar that had those guys?
Yes, those guys. Extreme.
Yeah, I need to.
While their like mixtape had like Amy Grant on it, fucking great. Fucking great. All right, Kiss was forced to postpone its September 14th concert at USANA Amphitheater in Salt Lake City. Bassist vocalist Gene Simmons tweeted earlier that day, "Apologies to the fans of Salt Lake City. We will come back and do the show at a later date. The truth is, I have to fly to LA to do a medical procedure. Nothing serious, but it must be taken care of now. Thank you for your good wishes. All is well." I mean, the way he makes it sound like he's performing the procedure. like I'm Gene fucking Simmons. He's performing a dollarectomy from somebody's wallet. Because that's how he fucking rolls.
I'm thinking of what was it? Weird Al's video for Like a Surgeon, and they're performing an actual surgery on a person's wallet with.
That's exactly
with the forceps pulling out dollars.
That's exactly the vision in my head. And behind that surgical mask is the demon. All right. After much speculation instigated by 2 video trailers released earlier this summer, Slayer, in conjunction with Nuclear Blast Records and Prime Zero Productions, announces Slayer, the Repentless Killology. Kilogy. That's the word. Kilogy.
Kilogy.
Motion picture and companion LP CD. The Repentless Kilogy live at the Forum in Inglewood, California. Coming November 8th, the narrative short film paired with Slayer's entire performance of its August 5th, 2017 concert at the Los Angeles Forum will be available digitally and on Blu-ray, and the soundtrack from that concert will be released as both a 2-disc vinyl and 2 CD packages. In addition to the standard black vinyl, 8 limited edition color vinyl configurations will be available: red, gold, and silver vinyl, red, black, and orange splatter, red, orange swirl, red, black splatter, red, yellow Corona, and black, white Corona.
That's a lot of different colors.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't remember if this article mentioned what the short narrative was about. Set to the tone, set to the music. You know what I mean? I wonder if it's going to be any better than Through the Never, Metallica's very similar story, very similar project here, but just not on the same scale.
Maybe it's part of a farewell thing or something like that.
Maybe. So it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Regardless. And plus, another live record from Slayer. Cool.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting one. This is fun. Robert Blasco Nicholson, bassist for Ozzy Osbourne, will be honored by Kitten Rescue, one of Southern California's largest nonprofit animal rescue organizations, with its 2019 Advocacy Award for his work homing adoptable cats and kittens, specifically black cats and kittens.
Yeah. I know a lot of people have a lot of are either superstitious or
a little stitious.
Huh?
Or a little stitious. Not superstitious, a little stitious. It's an office joke. It's like one of the few office memes that I understand.
Oh, well.
I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious.
I don't. Okay, I don't watch The Office. So
neither do
I.
Anyway, continue.
Never got the allure. But there was a thing by Snowy Shaw, basically telling people to be nice to animals or I'll kill you.
Well, the interesting thing I found about this story is that Blasco here was introduced to the kitten rescue of Southern California by Geezer Butler and his wife, because they're big advocates for the same cause, which I just thought was super cool.
Yeah, I can see Geezer Butler being like a cat guy.
Totally. I can see all those guys in Black Sabbath being cat guys.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I could see Geezer Butler having like a black cat just sitting on his shoulder.
I can actually see Tony Iommi with like a tabby or a fucking really, really white cat to offset his entirely black wardrobe. Walking around with nothing but white cat hair like I do. Because my cat is super white and I have nothing but black t-shirts.
Yeah. I'm wearing my one of my few non-black T-shirts right now. I mean, it's only like in the last few years that I've started wearing more colors.
I know. When I look at my closet, it's like I got 2 rows of T-shirts. On the bottom row, there's like the few colors I have. The top row is just varying shades of black.
Yeah.
Depending on how old the shirt is.
It's funny. My music shirts, like. I think I only have 2 colored shirts. One of them is Carrie Asher, which is green. So that stands out
a little bit.
And then the other one is red, which is the Gorillas. and like everything else around it is black.
I'm sorry, that is a lie. You also have Vanilla Ice, which is super red.
That is true too. Yes. I forgot about that. I tend to forget.
The word to your mother.
I gotta sew that shirt down to a smaller size so I can wear it more often.
I was gonna say it is more of the monster or something.
Because it's like an extra large or something like that, and no way.
All right. Twisted Sister will reunite for 2 days and nights this fall to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the band's classic album Stay Hungry. Dee Snider, J.J. French, Eddie Ojeda. Jesus Christ. and Mark the Animal Mendoza will be together again at the Spooky Empire Horror Theme Convention in Tampa, Florida for a very exclusive one-time only gathering. All 4 members will be available for autographs on Friday, November 1st and Saturday, November 2nd. Plus, be sure to catch their question and answer sessions and photo ops. A limited edition Twisted Sister commemorative Stay Hungry 35th anniversary coin will be available at the show. Now, they don't see that they're performing. It's just a meet and greet, pretty much.
I would hope that they would perform.
It doesn't sound like it. It does not sound like it. It really sounds like they're just going to be in the same room together. Quiet Riot has parted ways with singer James Durbin and has replaced him with Jizzy Pearl.
What a terrible name.
Right? Pearl previously fronted Quiet Riot from 2013 until October 2016, when he was briefly replaced by Shawn Nichols, who played only 5 shows with the group before the March 2017 arrival of American Idol finalist Durbin. According to Rock Talk with Mitch LaFon, Durbin left Quiet Riot to concentrate his time and efforts on his solo career.
Because we know how well that's gone for about 90% of American Idols.
True. Adam Lambert, he's doing well for himself.
Yeah. I mean, some have had great success. Kelly Clarkson and whatnot.
Kelly Clarkson is the one that comes to mind.
Yeah. But
hey, Clay Aiken is a senator or congressman. He's a politician.
Before that, he was. I think he played the lead in Spamalot in New York.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was not when I saw it. That's pretty fucking cool. The heavyset one, Ruben Studdard, he had a couple hits.
But
early on.
But not really since then.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just kind of you feed the machine and it spits you back out.
Yeah. It's your 15 minutes.
Yeah. For the most part, on American Idol, for the most part.
All right. Last but not least, here for some general news, we got Glenn Danzig will begin shooting his next movie in October. It will be the follow-up to his Verotica feature film directorial debut, which received its premiere in June. Speaking to a Bionic Buzz on the red carpet of Monday, September 16th premiere of Rob Zombie's new thriller 3 from Hell at Vista Theater in Los Angeles, Danzig said about his next project, "It's a vampire spaghetti western. We're in pre-production right now, and we start shooting next month."
A vampire spaghetti western.
Remember that Verotica apparently
I
was
know.
the horror version of The Room. So you can only imagine that this is going to be the horror version of The Room Part 2.
Just with cowboy hats.
Vampire spaghetti western. Yeah. And apparently everybody's a vampire. There's no guessing about who's a vampire. Everybody's a fucking vampire in this one.
It's gonna be an attempt to make like From Dusk Till Dawn again.
And that is classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
That was an enjoyable movie. Strange, but enjoyable.
Yeah. George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino, vampire hunting.
Yeah.
Good times.
All right, so let's go on to the crime blotter.
So, an attorney for former Anthrax singer Dan Nelson has disputed allegations that his client beat 2 elderly men inside a Queens, New York hotel last month. The 43-year-old musician is accused of punching the older men on August 30th at the Aloft New York LaGuardia Airport Hotel in East Elmhurst.
Now, you wonder what that's about.
Well, there is more to this article here. Apparently, from what the elderly gentleman said, is that Dan Nelson was a drunk shit show. He was supposed to be performing that night at the hotel, so you see how far he's fallen. And one of the guys, they encountered him in an elevator, and he said, "Hey, man, you're having a rough night." And Dan Nelson got pissed at him and punched him in the face.
Dick.
Yeah. And that's the allegations. Again, of course, they're denying it, blah, 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 blah. But you got to be careful with these sorts of things. Elevators have cameras on them. Just ask Mr. Ray Rice from the Baltimore Ravens, who several years ago was videotaped beating his wife in an elevator. So,
Douche.
yeah.
Douchebag. That guy's a douche.
Yeah.
Alright, let's move on to Metallica breaking shit.
Metallica breaking shit. Okay, so according to Polestar, Metallica's Worldwide Tour has played 15 concerts in Germany, Switzerland, and Austria, and all the shows, which happen in 6 stadiums and 9 arenas, sold out completely. A total of 486,130 tickets were sold, grossing more than 42 million euros, which is approximately $46 million. To honor this success, Live Nation GSA recently presented Metallica with a Sold Out Award. One of the highlights was Metallica's first ever performance at Berlin's Olympic Stadium, where they sold 68,452 tickets and grossed $6,816,021. At Vienna's Ernst Happel Stadion, the band sold 48,755 tickets, grossing $4,827,840.
They gotta change the name of that award.
You sold out, Metallica. Yeah, the thing is, that kind of just plays into what Jason Newsted said in their behind the music thing. He's like, yeah, we sell out every night, every stadium we play, everywhere. That's what we do.
Yeah, it just.
But continuing on with this, Polestar, according to music industry trade publications Polestar, Metallica has sold more than 22 million concert tickets since 1982. Grossing more than $1.4 billion in the process. That puts the thrash legends just behind U2 in tickets sold, but ahead of their peers AC/DC, Guns N' Roses, and Ozzy Osbourne.
All right.
Making them one of the biggest touring bands ever.
Well, they are a live band, and I mean, that's their niche. Apparently.
That is definitely their thing. Like, when they record an album, they're going to go on tour for like 10 years.
Yeah. If you saw the post from yesterday and our discussion on the Shred Shack chat, I started doing more reading and whatnot. And in the book, they were saying that they were going to have they were trying to not have James on vocals originally, and they were really gunning for John Bush.
Woo!
Yeah, they were really pushing for that.
But would they have been a 5-piece then?
Yeah, they would have been a 5-piece.
And was that originally when Dave was in the band?
I think not. I think that was just after.
That would have been very.
I'm not sure.
Very interesting.
But they were apparently really pushing to get John Bush in the band.
Wow.
Yeah.
That I did not know.
Yeah, that would have been very interesting to hear. Metallica songs. I mean, we've heard Whiplash covered by Anthrax before.
Yeah, with John Bush.
Yeah.
But John Bush being the front man on Master of Puppets. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, things I've learned in the last few days.
That's really interesting. All right. You ready for some feuding?
Yeah, sure, why
not? Well, this could have been put under old news, but I specifically put it here just so I can say it. Former members of Ghost have appealed the dismissal of their lawsuit against the band's leader, Tobias Forge. Forge, who founded the group 8 years ago, was sued by the 4 ex-members in April of 2017. They accused the singer of cheating them out of their rightful share of the profits from the band's album releases and world tours. The trial in district court lasted for 6 days. In October 2018, a 108-page decision was released dismissing the case. The 4 former Ghost members were also ordered to pay Forge's legal fees, which could amount to approximately $146,000. The musicians. I'm not even going to pronounce these people's names. I'm not up to that part of language learning yet. They have since appealed the ruling, and the case has now been referred to the Court of Appeals, where it will be heard in March of 2020.
Well, that's a ways off.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's a little bit of a backlog. Just like any other judiciary system.
Yeah, it's slow and steady. Alright, so we have nothing for Alcoholica.
Nope, not today.
But we have merchandising.
Now, this one I wasn't so sure about whether it's going to be merchandise or it might actually be currency. The Cook Islands, a nation in the South Pacific with political links to New Zealand, has released new silver coins honoring 2 classic AC/DC albums. A $2 coin commemorating AC/DC's landmark 1981 album For Those About to Rock, We Salute You. And a $10 coin celebrating AC/DC's 1990 album The Razor's Edge. The obverse side features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. These are the 3rd and 4th in a series released by Liechtenstein's CIT Coin Invest AG.
That would be interesting if it was made actual currency.
I think it might be. I think it is legitimate currency. A $2 and a $10 piece. Like when you look at the coins, like that looks like real money, but with album covers on the back. It's really weird.
Yeah, that'd be crazy if they did something like that here, like here in the U.S.
No, they get stamps here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, my Jerry Garcia stamps.
Yeah.
Which I gotta find. I think they're in my music box. So.
All right. Fantunes has released the official Rush graphic novel chronicling the making of the band's classic album, A Farewell to Kings, the first in the animation studio's ongoing relationship with Rush. The epic, fully authorized graphic novel chronicles the birth of Rush's classic album, A Farewell to Kings. You can relive the production trials and triumphs alongside Alex Lifeson, Geddy Lee, and Neil Peart as they create the masterpiece of progressive rock that gave birth to such tracks as Closer to the Heart and the majestic Xanadu. The book is co-written by Fantunes' David Calcano and Lindsay Lee, and features artwork by Juan Riera and Itai Manero. The story was written with input from Rush guitarist Alex Lifeson and producer Terry Brown, who also penned the foreword.
So it's telling the story of the making of the album?
Yeah.
It's
a graphic novel.
It's just that sounds boring. Why don't you just make a short film?
Right? Like, I think one of my favorite things from that VH1 used to do was classic albums. Like there was like an hour special about the making of classic albums.
Yeah.
I think I own one of them for the Black Album.
I own one for Night at the Opera.
But there you go. Because my favorite part of it is when like these guys go back and listen to these tracks after so many years of recording, when they can isolate things. Mm-hmm. You can hear like so many things that you think you heard on the record, but they are really there when they isolate the. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
One of the interesting things about the Night at the Opera one was this is before Queen embraced synthesizers, and they were talking about how they made like the different noises and whatnot, and how they would make like voices change on there and everything. And I think at one point they were talking about they were something sounds like a particular instrument, and it's actually just like thimbles on a finger tapping against something. And I was like, yeah, that wow.
One of my favorite things about Queen, way back when I was studying audio recording, I was taking a Pro Tools class, and apparently, somehow, some way, my teacher got Pro Tools trackings, like individual tracks of Killer Queen.
Yeah.
And you know, at the end of Killer Queen, there's a guitar line that goes back and forth. I thought, and a lot of us did, that it was one guitar just being panned left to right.
Yeah.
No, that was Brian May doing two different guitar parts. So it was one in the left ear, one in the right ear. So it'd be back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. 2 different guitar parts, left and right. I thought that was the coolest fucking thing. I never would have learned that if we didn't have those isolated tracks.
Yeah. What's cool is any song that you can get on Rock Band, you can find isolated tracks for.
Which is how they did the Injustice for All with Bass album on YouTube, I think.
Really?
I think.
Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, but like I have Midlife Crisis split up.
Oh, that's gotta be awesome.
Yeah, like you hear, like I have the vocals isolated.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love hearing anything with like isolated vocals, especially like I think after Chris Cornell passed away, they released online his isolated tracks from Black Hole Sun, which are really fucking good. And what was the one that was Freddie Mercury's? Oh my god, I forgot what it was, but there was one that was just isolated track of Freddie Mercury, and it was incredible. It was so fucking good.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to recording news.
Speaking of recording and stuff, the follow-up to Vinnie Moore's critically acclaimed 2015 Aerial Visions album will be released on October 9th on his label Mind's Eye Music. Titled Soul Shifter, Vinnie's 9th solo album features guest appearances by legendary artists Rudy Sarzo and Jordan Rudess, with Richie Monica on drums, Michael Bean, which is the bassist for Vinnie's Time Odyssey album, John Cassidy on keyboards, and John Pisoni on drums.
Right on.
Prong will release a new EP, Age of Defiance, on November 29th. The 5-track effort, which was produced by Chris Collier, will include 2 new studio songs, the title Cut and The End of Sanity, along with live recordings of 3 tracks, Rude Awakening, Cut Rate, and Another Worldly Device. A single, The End of Sanity, will precede the EP on October 26th.
I feel like I need to hear more of Prong's music.
Yeah.
Because they seem to be fairly prevalent.
Prevalent and fairly influential. Lindemann, the project featuring vocalist Till Lindemann of Rammstein and Swedish producer and multi-instrumentalist Peter Tägtgren of Hypocrisy and Pain. Their second album, F&M, will arrive on November 22nd. The follow-up to 2015 Skills in Pills was once again produced and mixed by that other guy who's
Tägtgren.
not... Huh? Tägtgren?
Yeah.
Oh, I did say it right?
I think so. Tägtgren.
Tägtgren?
Yeah.
Tägtgren. All right. Agnostic Front will release their 12th studio album, Get Loud, on November 8th via Nuclear Blast.
I like Agnostic Front, but it's a Kiss album title.
Yeah, especially with the exclamation point, it's almost like untenable.
Yeah. It's
Get Loud. 9-9.
It's just like all night. That's the kind of cheese factor it exudes.
Yeah. Well, The Who is back with its first new album in 13 years, titled Who?
Why?
What?
Why?
Where?
Why?
How? Alright, due for release on November 22nd, a new single, Ball and Chain, is now available on all streaming services.
Yeah, I've realized over time that I'm not exactly the biggest Who fan.
I really like The Who, but it's more of like the classic Who. Like I'm definitely like a greatest hits kind of guy for when it comes to The Who. Like Tommy, Who's Next, things of that nature.
Yeah.
But I think I was completely turned off by latter day, by even being remotely interested in latter day Who stuff after they performed the halftime show at the Super Bowl, and Roger Daltrey's voice was trash. Absolute trash. So I don't know what they could have possibly done to make him sound any good. So I don't know.
Well, we say the same thing about Ozzy Osbourne, but
True.
on the albums he sounds good.
Very, very true. But the thing is, Ozzy Osbourne wasn't necessarily known for his vocal prowess as Roger Daltrey is. I mean, he has the scream, that fucking scream from won't get fooled again. That's his thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, but I don't know. I'm not too worried about this one myself.
Yeah. Well, this one is going to be interesting because it always is. Rob Zombie says his new studio album will tentatively arrive in February of 2020. The disc will be issued via the iconic rocker's new record label, Nuclear Blast Records.
He's on Nuclear Blast?
Apparently so.
Damn.
Denner's Inferno, the new band featuring legendary King Diamond and Merciful Fate guitar player and composer Michael Denner, will release its debut album in Amber on November 15th through Mighty Music.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that because he was pretty much excluded from the Merciful Fate reunion.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so he's been talking about that. He's been talking that up in light of that.
Yeah. Sepultura have completed recording their new album for a tentative February 2020 release via Nuclear Blast. It's going to be a busy February for Nuclear Blast, apparently. The follow-up to 2017's Machine Messiah was once again recorded at Fascination Street Studios in Örebro, Sweden, with producer Jens Bogren, who has previously worked with just about everybody in metal.
Well, Soilwork, Opeth, Catatonia, Monomarth, Kreator, and Extreme Power Metalers, Dragon Force.
Or otherwise known as my iPod playlist. And there's one that I didn't write it down here. I just saw it on Facebook this morning. Avatarium has a new album coming out on November 29th.
Anything else to say about that one?
I just saw it was their new cover photo.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Like I said, I just saw that today.
Okay. So let's go on to crowdfunding tracker.
That is all you, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you
I
have
got
anything?
nothing.
Okay. I went through crowdfunding. I went through Kickstarter recently. I actually started looking through it for a change and Bandcamp for a change. And there's a couple things going on right now that seem pretty interesting. First one is Obsidian Realm Records is doing a 2-CD black metal compilation.
That sounds fun.
Now, Obsidian Realm is basically the baby of I believe the frontman of Cursed Be Thy Flesh, which is a black metal band. And they're looking to put together $400 to cover the costs of a 2-CD compilation.
$400, that's it?
$400.
Wow.
Because they said they're going to put up 100 and they just need 400.
Wow.
To do a 2-CD compilation.
Wow.
So they're probably just making enough for
paying the people on the record.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. They're currently at 52 of 400 with 56 days to go. 3 backers. I was actually while you were napping before, I was trying to pledge to this one. But I didn't have my wallet on me, so I couldn't do that. But their pledges are basic and very cool. You can pledge $1 or more. It's no reward, but it's just a thank you for submitting. $15 gets you the actual hand numbered CD, limited edition, and a digital download. 30 gets you the T-shirt and a hand-numbered copy, and then there are more expensive tiers with more swag, stuff like patches and a hoodie and different parts of their catalog.
Fucking hoodies.
Yeah. So that one sounds good, and that's where I heard of Willow Ash. Willow Ash is on Obsidian Realm Records.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. If you go to their, they have Obsidian Realm Records themselves have a Bandcamp page. And Willow Ash's, I believe they have 3 main releases, and I think all of them are up there.
Sweet.
Yeah, so they're all worth listening to, but they are more doomy, which makes me think that they won't appear on this. This is for black metal.
Yeah.
But it sounds cool, and
yeah, that definitely sounds cool.
Yeah. Next one up is Marita. Marita is basically 80s inspired pop metal. If you go to their Kickstarter page, and there's a video for their song Horror High, or for her song. It's basically front woman. but Horror High, which sounds like, if you're a fan of Alice Cooper from the 80s, late 80s into the early 90s, so I'm talking like Constrictor, Raise Your Fist and Yell, Trash, if you like the song Poison by Alice Cooper.
Great song.
You're gonna love this track. It sounded so fun, so good. But what she's trying to do is her last album, I believe 2018's Bloodlust, she's trying to put on vinyl. And there are, again, she's looking. This is Norwegian cash, so it translates to $2,000 in American money. 229 have been pledged so far, with 27 days to go. And the different tiers will get you different albums digitally, or different albums, EPs, and songs. Some of them will get you personalized postcards, or actual physical CDs. The thing that kind of bummed me out was, the whole purpose of it was to get the album on vinyl. To get a copy of the vinyl, it is in the $61 range. So that's a little high, but otherwise, if you're a fan of digital music or just a fan of physical CDs, there are other options if you just want to hear the music, because again, it was a great song. I assume the rest of it sounds very similar, with that 80s tinge of shock rock, kind of popish metal. But that's got 27 days to go, so we'll report on that next time. This one I liked, partially because of the fact that I'm reading my music biographies. There's a book called No Speed Limit, Quebec Metal from 1964 to 1989. It's basically showcasing the entirety of the Quebec metal scene and its evolution for those, 25 years?
Yep.
They're basically working on an English version. They've translated it already. They just need the money for publication. They're looking for... this is from Canada, but translated to American dollars, it is about $5,000. They've got 1,278 pledged already. $30 will get you the book itself. So if you want to help and to get a copy of the book when it is translated to English, $30. Otherwise, there are different various tiers of giving a hand and giving a help out. And lastly, there is Fire from Heaven, The Crusades Against Hell. This is a technical death metal album with apparently brutal vocals and orchestral elements. The one track that they have up on the Kickstarter page sounds awesome. The different tiers will get you different versions, either different versions of the album or different versions of previous albums. There's also a strictly instrumental. There's going to be a strictly instrumental version. There's going to be one with vocals. So whichever one you want, you go for.
Nice.
They're looking for $500, and so far they've got 40 with 47 days to go. But like I said, this one sounded pretty badass. So
I'm gonna have to check out some of these when you post it on Monday.
Yeah. So I would say check out some of these on Kickstarter. Just head over to Music and Metal, and it should be among the top few tiers as far as the search goes.
Very cool.
Yeah. A lot of cool stuff right now. So I thought that was worth a discussion. So let's go on to our Shit I Want segment.
Yes.
Do you have anything?
Not really, no.
Okay, I do.
I saw that. I was like, you know what? Dan's taking care of the middle section of our script here, so that's good.
It kind of goes with the thing with the Marita's pricing of the vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
Vinyl has become a much larger deal lately, but it's also a very expensive medium, as it seems. I would be more into getting vinyl if it weren't that expensive. Like if it were a little bit cheaper, because it's you know, you go to a Target and you see records for $25 to $30.
And these are newer records.
And these
too.
are new records.
Like the one I got you Sheer Heart Attack.
Mm-hmm.
First pressing, 1974.
Yeah.
And it did not cost nearly as much as a new album on vinyl.
Yeah.
It should have cost me a lot more. It should have cost me a lot more, especially considering the condition.
Yeah. Some of the one of the things that I liked about what Target was doing for a little bit was they had releases that you could buy the CD and you could send in for a vinyl copy of the album.
Which I did a couple times and gave it to Pete.
That's how I got my copy of Dystopia on record. I have.
That's right.
Yeah. I wish more bands would do that.
I thought that was super cool the first time I saw that. Like, there have been so many things I would really have loved to get 2 copies of and give out, you know, the vinyl copy, because obviously I don't really collect those at all.
Yeah.
But it would have been super cool if like a lot of more bands did something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind all the crazy variations, and you know, the red, the blue, the splatter, this, that, and the other thing. I don't mind the variations because I'm not a collector in that regard. I'm not going to sit there and try to get every single fucking thing.
Yeah.
But I would like to have more things on vinyl. It's just that I'm not willing to fork over the cash for it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's always a side of me that's cheap, but there's this kind of goes beyond that. Like this one I can say is not necessarily my own fault.
And not only that, the thing is like what is the justification for it being so expensive?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I understand that maybe because it's not a high in demand thing, but neither are CDs, but they're still pretty fucking cheap.
Yeah,
you know,
depending on what it is. Or
yeah, of course, but. You know, with vinyl, you could be paying somewhere up to like 4 times the cost of like a CD.
Yeah.
And then maybe even 10 times the cost of it digitally.
Yeah.
Like, why is it so expensive? Like, what is the justification?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about the production of vinyl. I don't know how they do it nowadays. I mean, I figure that between, I mean, it's been a medium for decades.
Yeah.
I would assume that in that time up till now, the production of a vinyl record has gotten easier.
Mm-hmm. Especially because they're not doing it in the scale that they used to have to do it,
mm-hmm.
because there's so many other mediums available.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they're not. It's not the only thing that people can get their music on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's because they're making it in short supply. I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about the production of it, so there's maybe something I'm missing here. If there is something that I'm missing, please let us know in the comments for this podcast. But I just don't see the reason for why it is.
No, I always had a question about vinyl, because everyone says it sounds better.
Mm-hmm.
And now a lot of these people say that it sounds better when they talk about old recordings put on digital. So let's just say a Beatles record. A Beatles record on a vinyl sounds better because it was an analog recorded, analog medium.
Mm-hmm.
When you put it on digital, it doesn't sound as good. Now here's a question for a lot of people. What if they record these albums digitally and then put it on vinyl? Does it sound better than if it was on CD? Or does it sound exactly the same? Like, what's the line?
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of these bands record digitally now, and then they put it on vinyl. It's not the same as if you recorded analog and put it on vinyl. It's not the same, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know, does it still sound, quote-unquote, better on vinyl? If it's recorded digitally, then put on vinyl.
So you're saying like my copy of Dystopia, does my vinyl copy of Dystopia sound better than
the CD?
Than the CD version or the digital download version
Yeah.
that you can get somewhere?
Yeah, because again, remember, a lot of people say this about older recordings. Beatles recorded on tape, then put on analog. Then it was remastered and put on digital. I can see where there might be a loss in translation, quality purpose of analog recordings going to digital.
Mm-hmm.
But what about a digital recording going to an analog medium? Like, is it still, quote unquote, better?
Yeah.
On vinyl.
I wondered the same thing. Just because I've always heard that people talk about the warmth of the sound, which is something I can't say I understand fully, but I know I remember talking about since you were just talking about things going from being one to being digital, to being somebody showed equalizer tracks for Michael Jackson's Thriller, and they showed the original version, then they showed 2 remastered versions, and the scales got louder every time, so it kind of lost fidelity in a way. It started to get a little so I can see where that part would be bad, because when the album came out, I think it was still vinyl and cassette. And switching over to digital made it a little bit worse for wear. So I do wonder what you're wondering, if it works the same way backwards.
Yeah.
So,
like, do they mix it differently, or they master it differently for a digital release compared to a vinyl release? Is there something different about the way they, like I said, the way they master? Because they probably record it again digitally, like via Pro Tools on a computer, hard drive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mix and master it digitally. But what did they do to get it to vinyl? Again, so is there a difference anymore?
Yeah.
Is there a difference anymore?
If there is, or if you've noticed one, or have anything to say, please let us know in the comments below of this podcast, or on Facebook at facebook.com/theshredshack. Actually, that's a good question for a poll. I might do that. So look out for that. Never mind. So after this comes out, I might put that up as a poll. Okay. So that was my thing.
Because of discussion, you have to find a vinyl metal meme for the day to put on our Instagram page.
I will. Yeah, I will.
I'm sure you can find one.
Well,
or something about vinyl and very hipsters.
Yeah, it's actually kind of hard to find good metal memes. Normally they come up pretty easily, but I was like,
when you actually look for them, they're like few and far between.
Yeah, they're not very good. Right now, I have 1 or 2 good ones, but I gotta find a few more to keep satisfied. But yeah, pricing of vinyl I wish would be a little bit less, and I'd be more interested in getting it. I do like that a lot of bands are pushing. They're pushing vinyl. They're pushing cassette, as well as CDs now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just because I find vinyl to be very cool. It sucks that it gets scratched up easily and everything, but I find it to be very cool.
I like CDs still. They're still my preferred form of media.
Yeah, they're easily obtainable and
portable,
easily stored and
portable. That's my main thing. Is portable. Yeah,
it's not like sitting there putting the needle on while you're driving 65 down 410.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, digital, any kind of form of digital is far more portable than a CD, but the CD still has the physical aspect of a vinyl record or a cassette, which I like, the tactile part of it.
Yeah.
I like to be able to open up a CD. I like to be able to open up the liner notes. I like to look through the pages, see if they have lyrics in there, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, so I get the best of both worlds with the CD because I get the portability, the digital quality, and the tactile physical aspect of a record.
Yeah. I just remembered I have a copy of Into the Electric Castle on vinyl I have to listen to.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember when that came in. That's
Yeah,
right.
that
That's
was-
right.
I'm still bummed out that I didn't do an unboxing video for that. I hate unboxing videos, but I will do them.
When other people do them, they suck. But when I do them,
I will gladly do one just because.
all right. You ready for some concert news?
Let's talk about concert news.
All right, festivals first up. Here we go. Former Accept singer Udo Dirk Schneider will celebrate the 35th anniversary of the band's Metal Heart album by performing it in its entirety at next year's edition of the Wacken Open Air Festival, set to take place July 30th through August 1st, 2020 in Wacken, Germany. He also promises a big surprise for the show.
He's reuniting with the rest of Accept. Oh my god.
I was like, there's that's gonna be like the only one, or like maybe a member or two of the band come out and perform with him, something like that.
Yeah, that's my understanding of a big surprise.
Yeah. All right, touring news. Sepultura frontman Derek Green will embark on a European vocal masterclass tour in October. Derek is one of the first international metal singers to take part in a masterclass tour, and this will be a unique occasion to spend an evening with the American vocal giant. Green will speak about his technique and share his experiences, tips, and inspirations. A meet and greet will take place after the masterclass.
Now, that sounds pretty cool.
It does.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that he was American.
Yeah, I knew that.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
In Flames have announced a fall North America tour with Red and Arrival of Autumn. The 36-date trek will kick off on November 2nd in Wichita and will make stops in Las Vegas, Chicago, and Atlanta before concluding in Dallas on December 20th. System of a Down will play a number of European shows in 2020. The band revealed its touring plans while announcing that it will perform at next year's Provinci festival in Finland. In what promises to be one of the biggest tours of next year, Evanescence and Within Temptation will join forces for Worlds Collide, a massive co-headline European run kicking off in Brussels, Belgium on April 4th, 2020.
Right on.
Yeah, I would see the shit out of that show. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Machine Head has announced the second European leg of its 25th anniversary tour for the band's classic debut, Burn My Eyes. The second massive run of dates kicks off in Zaragoza, Spain, on April 19th, continuing across Portugal, Eastern Europe, Russia, Scandinavia, and wrapping up in the UK with a London show at the legendary Alexandra Palace on June 6th. A US leg is set to be announced soon.
Right on.
Last but not least here, Dream Theater have announced the European leg of their Evening With touring cycle, featuring a celebration of the band's latest record, Distance Over Time, and their acclaimed milestone achievement, Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory. The Distance Over Time tour, celebrating 20 years of Scenes from a Memory, takes place across Europe through January and February of 2020. The 28-date leg will see the band traverse 16 countries, including the UK, Germany, France, Netherlands, and many more.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see Dream Theater again.
I would too.
For an evening with.
Yes, for sure. Because I feel if you see them with anybody else, I get cheated on Dream Theater. Like, I don't get.
I feel like they still play the same length no matter what.
Yeah.
Like you guys go on at 8 in the morning.
Yeah. I remember when we saw an evening with Dream Theater at the theater of Madison Square Garden. They played for like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, that was that the daylight savings time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all of a sudden it was 4 o'clock in the fucking morning when we got home.
It went from 1:59 to 3 o'clock on the train.
On the train. So like we were fucking time traveling. We were like Doc Brown on the fucking train. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
But it was a badass show. But man, 3.5 hours. So many notes.
Yep.
So many notes. All right, some one-off here. Former Judas Priest members KK Downing, Les Binks, and Tim Ripper Owens will team up to perform a full-length set of Priest classics with Megadeth bassist Dave Ellefson on November 3rd in Wolverhampton, United Kingdom. Joining them on second guitar will be AJ Mills of Hostile, the British metal band whose 2 albums, Eye of Destruction and The New World Disorder, were both produced by Downing.
Right on.
Yes, sir. All right, you ready for some heavy metal in the charts?
I am.
All right, so some noteworthy points here. Rapper Post Malone's song, Take What You Want, featuring Ozzy Osbourne and Travis Scott, has debuted on the Billboard Hot 100 chart at number 8. According to Billboard, the track marks Osbourne's first Hot 100 top 10 in over 30 years, as the Black Sabbath singer breaks the record for the most time between top 10s in the chart's 61-year history. The song appeared on Post Malone's new LP, Hollywood's Bleeding, which landed at number 1 on the Billboard Top 200 Albums chart this week.
Right on.
Breaking Benjamin's massive hit song and fan favorite, The Diary of Jane, has been certified triple platinum by the RIAA. The song off the band's 2006 release, Phobia, also certified platinum, which was also certified platinum, was a top 5 rock radio hit.
Yeah, I've never heard it.
I'm sure you have. If you heard rock radio in the past 13 years, you've heard this song.
I don't recall.
Yeah.
I don't like Breaking Benjamin, really. So.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
All right, are you ready for the top 200?
I'm ready.
All right, so of course we just talked about number 1 being Post Malone.
Yep.
Number 2 is Lover by Taylor Swift. Number 3 is a new album from Melanie Martinez called K12. It's a soundtrack, apparently. Mm-hmm. Number 4 is Young Thug, So Much Fun. And number 5 is Little Tekka, We Love You Tekka.
The fuck?
I don't know. But I forgot to mention that last week's number 1 was, in fact, Tool's Fear Inoculum.
Yep.
This week they are number 7. They have fallen from number 1 to number 7.
Still good?
Still in the top 10.
Yep.
Very, very good. But here is a disappointment. It's still, very high up there. It's Chris fucking Brown. Such a disappointment.
Yep.
Queen's Greatest Hits is at number 21.
That's good.
Yep. Still good. Still good. Elton John's Diamonds at number 29. And now we are scrolling.
That was a record I saw at Target, Diamonds.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was like, oh. Well, I have the rest of it on CD anyway.
Okay, yeah. Creedence Clearwater Revival's at 60. Yeah, we're getting ugly here.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, you just did a huge leap.
Yeah, we're getting ugly. Oh, We Are Not Your Kind, Slipknot, 80. Still in the top 100. Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good.
I figure it's going to go gold soon-ish.
With equivalent sales, probably. Beatles, Abbey Road is at number 95, on the uptick from 100, surprisingly. Fleetwood Mac Rumors is at number 98. Back in Black, 105. Guns N' Roses Greatest Hits, a re-entry at 109.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a jump.
Bohemian Rhapsody soundtrack, 118. 118. The Greatest Hits by the Eagles, 128. Michael Jackson, The Essential Michael Jackson, 131. 31. Leonard Skinner, All-Time Greatest Hits, a re-entry at 141. Someone's getting their South on.
Yeah, it's Kid Rock just sampling all the fucking clips.
Counts as a sale every time.
Seriously.
Greatest Hits. Red Hot Chili Peppers 146, and just above that at 145 is the Greatest Hits by Journey. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band Greatest Hits 152. Sounds of Summer, the very best of the Beach Boys at 156, down from 136, closing out the summer.
I was gonna say, not for Texas.
Yeah, that shit's hot.
Yeah.
Still.
Yep.
Fucking balls. It rained last night pretty significantly.
Yeah, it did.
And all it did was make it fucking humid.
Yeah, it did.
All right, 166, The Decade of Destruction, Five Finger Death Punch. At 167 is Tool, Anima.
That's on the rise.
That is actually on the fall a little bit. It was at 114 last week.
It was at like 190 last time.
Oh, I don't know.
Last time we did this, it was low.
Well, here we go. Speaking of Kid Rock, a re-entry for Kid Rock. Greatest hits you never saw coming. 174.
Yeah, come on, this.
Nevermind by Nirvana's at 177. That's on the uptick from 186. That guy can dance. Thriller. We were just talking about it. 183.
Yep.
Bon Jovi's Greatest Hits 191. Lateralis by Tool is at 192, down from 116. Another Chris Brown record.
What?
Why the fuck do people still listen to him? And that will close us out.
That was terrible.
Yeah. Now, you know what's even more terrible? Here is the hard rock albums. Number one, of course, is Tool. But I can't look past that. Because Billboard now charges to access their charts outside the top 200.
Are you serious?
I shit you not. There is now Billboard for Pros, or Billboard Pro. You can now subscribe monthly to get access to the charts online.
You can charge. I can charge you to suck my. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I saw that. I almost shit. Look at this.
That is ridiculous.
Look at this.
I'm looking at it.
You can subscribe to the website for something that we've been looking at for years for free. Now, here's the kicker here. $10 a month gets you all this stuff, but nothing printed. So you get access on the online website, all this shit. And then for $16.99 a month, you can have all of that and the printed copy.
Like a copy of the magazine, or
Yeah. 34 print issues per year.
Man, that is some fucking
Balls. Yeah.
Because you know what? Like, I mean, it rarely changes, but like all this stuff is floating just below the 200.
Yeah.
So that is.
So every week we'll be able to do the top 200, and we'll be able to see the number one on the hard rock chart. We might need to change what we're going to be looking at.
All right.
We might have to go to like iTunes or Apple Music to figure out new charts to see what's happening in the world.
We'll figure that out eventually, but
Yeah,
man,
I was super disappointed when I saw that.
That is fucking stupid.
Yeah. So heavy metal in the charts might be taking a little bit of a turn here. We got to figure out what we got to do.
Yeah, because I was gonna say heavy metal, like the top 200 is
trash.
It's trash.
It's trash.
Yeah.
You know, that's just how we feel where we stand in the rest of the world, which is not very tall.
No.
I mean, we've had a couple representations here when Tool first came out on streaming, but that craze has slowed down a little bit. You know, I'm sure that further weeks will bring even Fear Inoculum down even more into the lower part. I mean, yeah, we're just not nearly as strong as we used to be, and now we can't even cover our own shit.
Yep. That is a damn shame.
Yes, sir.
So, I guess we'll cut that part short, and we'll cut right to our discussion.
Oh, well, we got to cut that short, too. I got to get out of here soon.
Oh.
It's 10 o'clock.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got an appointment to fix my tire at 11.
Okay. Well, we'll make this quick then.
All right, what are we talking about?
All right, so it's 26 bands that sound nothing like their first album.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Let's go.
so first one up is AFI.
I actually don't know what their first album sounded like. So.
Well, apparently they used to sound a little bit more like horror punk, like the Misfits, and the heavier end of the punk realm, hardcore.
See, I think that yeah, because Sing the Sorrow is very much a mix of pop punk with the horror punk.
Yeah, but Sing the Sorrow apparently was the changing point.
That would explain it.
Yeah, so that's what they're saying on Loudwire. This one's obvious. Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper's changed a ton since day one.
I think yeah, he's got ebb and flow. He's got peaks and valleys. Yeah, he's all over the place.
He's do psychedelic rock. He did Detroit rock, simple
shock rock, and then there's fucking Brutal Planet, like out of nowhere.
Heavy metal stuff from the mid '90s onward. So yeah, obviously,
Clearly,
yeah, and even went back to regular rock and roll, and then just kind of a mix of everything. And now he's doing covers.
now he's just Alice fucking Cooper.
Yeah, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Amorphous, obvious.
Clearly,
yes.
far more melodic now.
Far more melodic. A little bit more. I described Tales from a Thousand Lakes as the death metal Doors.
Yeah, I can see that. Yep.
And they went from that to more psychedelic rock, into a more melodic, like.
I want to say a melodic death metal, but definitely kind of very similar to like an In Flames type sound.
Yeah, kind of
Latter Day In Flames.
Kind of melancholic.
Yeah.
So, but definitely Amorphous. I love them. Anathema, which obviously, from their start, they were a kind of doom metal band. I hated the singing on the original albums, but they got so much better. And now they play a little bit. They play like mostly melodic stuff. I think they had like an entirely acoustic album and stuff like that. So I like them a lot. Behemoth.
Yeah, I would say so, because I only have one of their, I guess, quote unquote earlier records, Demigod, which is a complete different take on the extreme metal than they do now. They do a much more polished sound.
Yeah,
now.
It says that Behemoth began as a simple lo-fi black metal act.
Yeah, they are now a more polished extreme metal act. More, you know what's really funny is that their brand of extreme metal is still more is just more accessible to more people, because I think it's because it sounds better. Mm-hmm. You know, like there's nothing that's been watered down as far as the message or the sound. It's just like the quality is better.
Yeah. I don't know anything about this band, Boris.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're a Japanese act.
I am unfamiliar.
But they apparently went like they did like garage rock, stoner rock, and even J-pop.
Cool.
Like all over the place, all over the map. Bring Me the Horizon.
I'm not familiar with their earlier stuff particularly.
Yeah.
I would say that they probably went from like more of a hardcore band to more of a metalcore band, or a pop.
Or they started as a standard metalcore band, taking influence from At the Gates, Slaughter the Soul, and the new wave of American heavy metal. And they caught considerable fire on Sempiternal, fusing the anthemic with the savage, which was a departure from the debut. And what came in 2015, the pop leading, that's the Spirit. Carcass. Grindcore originally, with Reek of Putrefaction. They basically, apparently, they're saying that the latest album, Surgical Steel, is everything but grind. Like
I think it was more of a technical album than anything else, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and they did have an album called Heartwork that was apparently a lot of melody-driven stuff. Mm. So, Dark Throne. Dark Throne, I'm not too familiar with. I know that they are.
Black metal?
Black metal.
Yeah, that was Pete's realm there. I remember him talking about them a couple times.
Yeah. Enslaved.
Oh, yeah, they're far more melodic now.
Yeah, the Castle Black Metal originally, and then they've always been a progressive group, but showed their classic prog influences while blossoming into a completely different outfit. So never forsaking their black metal foundations, they have repeatedly knocked down walls, made additions to, and rearranged their stylistic house over the decades.
For sure.
So adding
their last three records were really good.
Yeah. Gwar.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not very familiar with any of Gwar's music, so.
Yeah. I would say the same thing. I'm not too familiar, so we're going to carry on. In Flames.
We were just talking about them. They were a very much more melodic death metal band of the whole Gothenburg sound, but they've gotten even more melodic to the point of almost. I hate to say the word pop, but the thing is they're far more accessible now. They make simpler songs. They make things a little bit easier to digest.
Yeah, they said that everything started to change with 2002's Reroute to Remain, which believe a lot of people like, but they
what got me into them was Come Clarity, which was, I think, for me, their breakthrough. You know, like I said, to me.
Yeah.
So I mean, that very much mixed some heaviness with a lot of more melodic elements. And I think that was in like 2007.
Incubus.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
From basically, trying to be Faith No More to being a melodic alternative rock.
They're one of those bands that fly on the radar, but have a huge fucking following.
Judas Priest.
From rock and rolla to fucking now. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Catatonia.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they used to be.
Yeah, once Jonas switched from his death metal vocals to clean vocals, it was a completely different band.
Yeah. From death metal frenzy to basically depressive rock metal they play later.
I mean, they're like, I've been calling them the heavy metal cure for years.
Yeah. Linkin Park.
Yes.
From
new metal,
from being almost strictly rap metal to being a little bit more
anthemic, arena rock.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Ministry, I don't know enough about.
I always just associate them with this over the top industrial metal. I don't know.
What's his Ministries with Sympathy is so unlike anything in the band's discography that Al Jourgensen just owns the record. In fairness, he was forced to adopt a faux British accent and make a new wave synth pop record, so the grudge is warranted.
Nice.
Nocmistium, which I know nothing about. So
I got nothing to know.
Opeth.
For fuck's sake, we were talking about that for years on this podcast.
Yes.
I love their progression.
Yep. The Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah. I mean, they were almost an exclusive, hard funk band. Now they are definitely arena rock, fucking anthemic stuff.
Yeah,
for sure.
They're definitely radio darlings and whatnot. I still absolutely adore their older stuff.
Oh, hell yeah. I think everything up to Stadium Arcadium is fucking gold.
Well, I don't think they've released necessarily a bad album at all.
Well, I'm just not as familiar with anything past Stadium Arcadium, so.
The newer ones are pretty good.
Yeah.
So, Samael.
I'm not 100% familiar.
More black metal, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Originally black metal and more. It seems like a lot of black metal bands start off as that lo-fi, black metal roots, that cult thing,
and then they start writing songs,
and then they they expand on the sound and do a lot more with it,
and then they lose their cult status.
Yeah. The Scorpions. Scorpions started off as more of a psychedelic rock group.
Oh, that was also 50 years ago, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, and the fact that they're still going.
Yeah, and going strong too, because Klaus still sounds exactly the fucking same.
Yep. Sepultura.
For sure. They were definitely more of a straight up thrash metal band when they first came out. Mm-hmm. Bullet belts and everything. Now, then they went to Roots, which was more world metal, and I think they've kind of mixed the thrash with the world metal, continuing on after the Cavaleras left.
Yeah, and they've even had softer songs.
Yeah, and they have concept records now. Like they're on the verge of thrash prog.
Yeah. This one I don't really know much about. Thrice. So.
They're more of a punk band, or screamo band kind of thing.
Evolution from pop punk hardcore to hardcore played out.
Hardcore played out.
They're how the music. It's basically what they. It's out of context of the sentence.
Yeah.
Tribulation. I don't know anything about them, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, I'm not 100%.
Someone let us know. And last one is Ulver. I can't say I know them.
I think I've heard one of their later records. They were a black metal band?
Originally a black metal band.
More of a prog metal band now, kind of experimenting with progression and still a little bit of the black metal elements.
Went on to deliver the Trouble First Natchen's Madrigal after an acoustic folk record.
Well, there you go. That's where you got.
willingness to change their sound on a whim could not have prepared fans for the head dive into thoughtful electronic and avant-garde territory.
There you go.
Yep. So those are 26 bands that sound nothing like their first album, and again, a lot of it is that black metal is black metal.
Well, I mean, they could have done it for a number of different bands that we've talked about here. Metallica sounds nothing like their first record anymore. Megadeth sounds nothing like their first record anymore.
Megadeth sounds more like their first record now.
But they've peaks and valleys, ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
You know, Metallica's trying to find their peak again, and they're almost there, but yeah. There is one thing about Metallica that I do hope they release, and that is the S&M 2, because the set list for that show looked fucking incredible.
You know, it's being played in theaters here in San Antonio.
I know, I did see that, but of course I didn't go.
Well,
it's in October. Yeah, that's right. So that might be a thing.
Yeah.
Might be a thing. I mean, I just hope that they release an album and a DVD of that, because the first one was great, and the second one, like I said, the set looks crazy. They even do fucking Anesthesia with the orchestra.
Wow.
Yeah. So that could be a thing.
Sounds awesome.
Yep.
All right, so with that, we will end our show. Next time, we will be able to talk about the Iron Maiden concert.
Yes, we will, because we are seeing that on Wednesday.
Fucking Wednesday.
It's been a long time coming, this one. There's been nothing but positive reviews of this concert tour so far.
I had to go to an email account that I don't use anymore, because that's what's attached to my Ticketmaster account. And I had to go searching through my email to find the tickets. And we bought them back in May.
Yeah, here we are in latter part of September.
Yeah, it's finally happening. Finally seeing Iron Maiden again.
Last night of the tour, too.
Yep. Because everyone's... I'm seeing, like, pictures and posts and everything. Like, Pat posted some stuff. Some of the guys in the One Up Cup, they got some pictures of the show. I'm not sure if they went or not, or if they had a friend who went. But it's everyone's seeing it.
Yeah, and it's Iron Maiden. It's a big tour, one of the biggest, which is crazy to think about this that late in their career. You know, it's one of their biggest tours ever.
Yep.
And every time we see them, they get better.
Yeah.
Like a fine fucking wine.
Yep. So we'll be discussing that next time, as well as all the normal news and whatnot, and we'll figure out what we're going to do about the fucking Billboard charts.
Yeah, for real.
All right, so until next time, I'm Dan Mack.
And this is Chris Mack.
We are The Slime.